So this research began quite a long time ago, and it was a collaboration or a composite study with ourselves in Innsbruck in Austria. They had a piece of information that they wanted, didn't have an explanation for, on prostate cancer, and we had looked in very great detail at a very, very specific cell that sits within every cancer type called the cancer stem cell. And we think this cell is the root of cancer regrowth. So we put the two together, and they sent a student across to help us with this, and we realized that we could start to explain some of the reasons why prostate cancer grew and grew outside of the prostate. So what we've shown is that there's a molecule which is normally only present in your bone marrow or in your lymph nodes, and it's all to do with your response to infections. And what we never want to happen is that when your body responds to an infection, you sweat and you've got inflammation, and that's your body dealing with the infection. But there's this protein called IL-4 which helps to shut all that down, because you really don't want the immune system going haywire. And this was the connection that we made to cancer. So it turns out that the cancer cells look as if they've co-opted this molecule to help it to spread. So the cancer cells break off from the original tumour in the prostate and they float around the body. But what tells them to stick? And it's like driving down the motorway. Unless you run out of petrol or pull into a service station, there's nothing for you to stop for, and you're not meant to stop anyway. So this acts a little bit like a docking station for the cancer. When that happens, the cancer can start to grow again. And if it doesn't happen, the cancer cells just keep floating around the body all the time and are eventually passed as waste. And this was not the expected result, because this IL-4 molecule stops cells growing. In this role, it helps them to grow. It doesn't make them grow faster, but it helps them to grow somewhere else. And we proved this, and it was much harder to prove this in the laboratory than we thought. But more than that, we found a drug which would block the effect. And this was complete surprise to us, because this drug is involved in the treatment, or has been proposed for the treatment, of allergic reactions, which are an overstimulation of your immune system. So when we treated the cells with this drug, the cancer cells didn't stick anymore. So we're really excited about the prospects for this, but it's a long way to take a drug which has been still being tested for allergy and put it into a cancer treatment. And the one thing we just don't want to happen is for what they call adverse effects. That the drug may do some good, but it may also do a lot of bad. And quite often cancer drugs have been pilloried for doing just that. But 47,000 men, most of them over 60, develop prostate cancer every year in the United Kingdom. And of those, about 11 or 12,000 of them will die of prostate cancer. It's particularly serious in the black population. They're twice as likely to die of prostate cancer. And clearly it's a disease of elderly men. Now, there are ways to diagnose it, and if it's caught early, then it can be treated. But it is a major problem, and it's one which now is being accepted, and now we're starting to think in bigger terms about it. It has its own dedicated charity, Prostate. As far as this work is concerned, we could not have completed it without an organisation known as Charity Soul, which is the charity arm of Northern Soul, which I think most people around here understand. They provided the materials which supported the Italian scientist who did the work. So that's a major involvement of the local community.